Thank you. I'm so happy this morning and honored to be facilitating this session on quality clubs. And it's going to be an interactive session. So before we start, I would like the brave ones to raise their hands. Kimani will help me in identifying them. And Robert Kimani, that is, in identifying them. And then, no, Robert Kimani is being trained as a president. I work with the area director, Robert Karanja. The brave ones can raise their hands. And then those who want to write, I'm not saying you're not brave, you can write on chat the answer to this question. I know all of you joined Toastmasters for a reason. We always emphasize on know your why. But I'm not so sure why some of you stayed. So I would love to know, to hear from a few of you why you stayed, why are you still here? And for you who are here, why did you even go a step further and take on a leadership position in Toastmasters? So the very first hands to go up, I would take at most 3, and then also you can write on chat so that we discuss and get each other's reason. I can see a hand up here of incoming VP, Madam. I can't see your complete name, the one in headphones. You can respond as others raise their hands.
Good morning, Toastmasters. I hope you can hear me.
Yes.
I have remained in Toastmasters because of the kind of people I met when I joined. It was by accident. I was in Nairobi for something else. Where I was staying, there were people who were meeting as Toastmasters. Coincidentally, a second time I went, it was the same thing. So I asked them whether there was a Toastmasters club in Eldoret. They gave me a contact, and I got the person and I went for the meeting. What actually struck me was that they were young, they were professionals, they were time conscious, and they had something that I did not have in as much as I thought I had gone to school. I realized they were so serious about what they were doing, and the fact that on a Friday evening, they would spend their precious time building themselves, it made me stay. That is when I realized that I wasn't a speaker anyway. There was nothing much that I knew. And since then, I have been very conscious. I have grown in leaps and bounds. And when I was given an opportunity to take a position, because of the roles of Toastmasters, I picked it up because I know this is my way to grow. I have tried to bring in my colleagues. Of course, always people are very skeptical about what they don't know. But I believe with what they will see in me, they will come and they will stay. The way I came and I have stayed. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Akinyi. She joined by mistake. It was, something just happened. But she stayed because of the kind of people she met. Kindly note somewhere and underline people. The people made her stay. Any hand up, Robert?
Joseph.
Okay. Joseph?
I loved the discipline of time. I like keeping time, and I was impressed by the precision. That has kept me going.
Fantastic. The time. Thank you, Joseph. The respect and management of time made Joseph stay. To that person.
We have Immaculate.
Yes, Immaculate.
Thank you. I liked the way the meeting was organized, and I also liked the way they kept time.
The organization and time. So note these things, the people, the organization, time. I see on chat there are people who stayed because of cake. So not everyone is there just for these serious things. There are some people who are there just to have fun, which is part of life, to have nice cakes. At Kilele, where I'm a member, anytime you say there'll be a cake, the mood is so different. So even those who are saying all these things, trust me, Gladys, they also love cake. Some of them can't wait for a cake in the meeting. Then I'm seeing I found a supportive community that helped me grow. I'm seeing, yeah, those are the two comments on cake and supportive environment and the growth that is being experienced every day. Thank you very much for being with me, joining me in that session. Now, we are going to look at club quality. And the reason I started this session that way is so that you can see some of the aspects that have made you stay, that are the reason you're still here, how they contribute also to the staying of the people you lead, and how you now as leaders can ensure you do more so that these people can stay and become like, is there permanent membership in Toastmasters? Because I tend to believe that's what I am. I'm a lifetime member of Toastmasters because I don't think I'm going anywhere. Yes, and I hope there are so many people in the room who feel like me. Creating a quality club. Toastmasters is big on quality. And I'm sure you're all serious people here, professionals, business people who value quality in everything you do. And so quality means a lot to you as a person. Now, in covering quality, within this session, we are going to look at these three things: member experience, club foundation, and teamwork. Member experience, club foundation, teamwork. This first thing here of member experience, remember, before you are a leader, you are a member of Toastmasters. And when we talk of the time you stayed, you are not necessarily a president or a VP, so you stayed because you need to hold the club together. No, they were personal reasons. You were a member. So I'm so sure the experience, as most of you have stated, contributed to your staying. Okay, now the key objectives of this session is to identify the elements that satisfy club members, the member experience, correlate moments of truth. I'm sure most of you have heard about moments of truth, but for the fresh club officers, worry not. We are going to learn what moments of truth are. And the distinguished...
Wanjiru, have you started sharing your screen?
Yes, I'm sharing my screen. It's not visible.
No, it is not. We're just seeing your folder list of files.
This is interesting. Apologies for that. Maybe I can stop it and restart it again. Okay. Can you see it now?
Yes.
All right, apologies for that. I kept going on and I assumed you see what I'm talking about. Okay, this is where we were. I was emphasizing on that member experience aspect and our objectives today, which are these: to identify these elements that give our members the experience that makes them stay, and then the correlation between moments of truth and the Distinguished Club Program. You've heard of DCP, DCP, DCP. Applying moments of truth and identifying your leadership role. Now, member experience. Remember those things we said, people? Dr. Akini said she stayed because of the people she found in Toastmasters. This, to me, looks like a house. It's a house with a foundation, it's a house with a roof, and then it has pillars. I am not a civil engineer, I'm not into construction, so I wouldn't lie to you that I know what makes a good house. But in Toastmasters, we are having this house, and these are the things that make a farm house. I won't read to you what the club mission is or values. I want to see, there are some people who have been here for quite a while. I want to see, Robert Karanja, stop referring to your notes. You've been a president, the best president in the district. What is the club mission?
I know it starts with we provide a positive and supportive environment.
It starts and it ends with the others. You have an opportunity to refer to your notes. Stanley Ariari, you've been an outstanding Vice President Education. What is the club mission?
Apologies, I did not get any trophy, but I will just take it. As a club, we provide a supportive and enabling environment where members learn to be better communicators and leaders, resulting in better personal growth. Or something like that, paraphrased.
I like that, something like that. They both have the key aspects, the supportive environment where members grow, and then we talk of the ultimate confidence and personal growth. Before I show you or we read out loud what this is so that you all get it, especially for the new club officers, I would like also someone to tell us what are the values. Now we are looking at the foundation of this house. What are the values of Toastmasters? What are the values of Toastmasters? Anyone who wants to go by volunteering? Or will I have to point you out?
We have a comment.
Yes.
They provided the first one of them, which is respect.
Yes, you can write on chat, Robert, to read them out.
Integrity, excellence. We are missing one, the S. And service.
S. Great. Service. S forms actually greatly why you are all here. You volunteered to serve, and now you're here. So let's look. Let's look at the Toastmasters Club mission so that we are all together. We provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Remember, we are providing a supportive and positive learning experience so that now our members in this environment are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. There are key things here. It's like those who have done research talk of dependent and independent variables. If we don't provide a supportive and positive learning experience, do you think members are going to be empowered to develop and do all these other growth we are talking about? I see Robert saying no, and I also think so. So we are we really have a responsibility as leaders now to provide this supportive and positive learning experience. And that's why we are talking about member experience. What do they experience in our clubs? From the very first impression to everything else. And then these are the values got them so right: integrity, respect, service, and excellence. We use the acronym RISE. It's easier for you to remember, maybe RISE: respect, integrity, service, and excellence. Okay, that's the foundation. Now I'm seeing a roof, and the roof is the club. A very fundamental thing. Imagine a house without a roof. When it's sunny, you're in the house, but you feel the heat. When it's raining, you tell yourself you're in the house, but the rain is dropping on you, and you miss out in some. It doesn't make sense to be in a house without a roof. So you, the club, are the roof. And then there's moments of truth. This is being candid. You know, like in life where you have friends who don't like facing the real issues, or even in relationships, people just go around, they don't know what is happening, and at the same time, they don't want to scrutinize and talk about the real issues. Moments of Truth in Toastmasters helps us look at the different aspects and ask ourselves very key questions as leaders, and involving our members, we are able to ask ourselves these questions and look at the possible solutions and then work together to grow our club. So let's look at moments of truth. These are the key things we look at when we talk about moments of truth. First impression, membership orientation, fellowship variety and communication, program planning and meeting organization, membership strength, and achievement recognition. I don't know what comes to your mind when you hear about either of these, but these are the key areas that Toastmasters uses to check the quality of your meetings, a quality club. And that is why some of you might have gone through the area director's visit report. These are really the areas they look at when they visit your club, or check over time as they evaluate how your club is doing. First impressions. Dr. Akini said when she went and found young people, it's a Friday, they can create time to be here, she felt very impressed and felt, no, this is somewhere I need to stay. Joseph talked about time. He was really impressed how these people value time, respect time, do things within time. So that's an impression that made you stay. And trust me, it has made so many others stay. So as leaders, how can you ensure that anyone who walks into your physical or virtual meetings gets an impression that makes them stay? Do you greet them at the door? Do you make them feel welcome? What evaluation do you give that icebreaker? I listened to Gladys give her experience of her icebreaker. Do you give them the impression that, yes, this is a supportive and safe space for you to grow? So impressions could be in so many ways, from how warm or cold you people are, from how you do things, from the organization or disorganization that these people see. So it's a matter of what they see and what they feel. And trust me, human beings mostly go with what they feel. We are emotional beings. So if someone feels at home, someone feels safe, someone feels this is a nice place, they will stay. So that's one thing we need to look at as leaders. Are we creating a good first impression? Membership orientation. A member has signed up. VPM, you have been so busy. The VPPR has really written on social media. They have brought these people to the meeting. And then the VPM has been very busy following them. But what happens when they send that $7,000 or $65 or your relationship ends there? Now they have to find their way. That will inform the impression whether they will stay after the 6 months or not, because membership orientation is now enabling them to start their journey. I'm going to say these things in a nutshell. Membership orientation is generally how you enable now these new members to learn the ropes, if I can put it that way. We are now in pathways. Will you assign them a mentor? The VPE, will you assign a new member a mentor? Who now will take them through? We are in a pathways learning program. This is how you do it, how you select a path. This is what evaluations are in Toastmasters. These 3 parts of a meeting, the speeches, evaluation, table topics, and the value of it. That is membership orientation. You don't want a scenario where a member has been in your meeting for 6 months and now you're talking of renewal and they don't even understand what has been going on. So membership orientation is the key area in moments of truth that you need to sit down and ask yourself as leaders. Are we doing it? How better can we do it? And Toastmasters provides these guidelines. Fellowship, variety, and communication. You know, we are not just members who meet and just deliver speeches and table topics and go away. Allow me, I'll keep referring to Kilele because it's my club. I find these feeling of fun. People want to have fun beyond just doing these 3 things. And it creates a very warm environment. So as leaders, are you able to create an environment where members can feel it's not just a meeting, it's a fellowship. People can come together and in a very easy, nice, friendly, but a manner of learning, and it's an environment of learning, grow. Variety. Do you do your meetings? I know they're the 3 key areas of a meeting, but do you add something extra? A tip session, a guest speaker, you introduce Jokes Master, you have table topics that are within an interesting area. Maybe you could have a debate, one of your meetings, variety. People get, monotony doesn't excite people. And then communication. How do you communicate as leaders? I've been part of a club where WhatsApp doesn't work for them. So as leaders now, it's where you start asking yourself, are these platforms working for us? Are our members and we as EXCO able to communicate better through email, through WhatsApp? Are we able to share and feel we are one as we communicate in this manner and through these platforms? Then we have program planning and meeting organization. Someone talked of organized. I stayed because of how organized I saw this group as being. Very good. Program planning. You fail to plan, you plan to fail. The cliche thing that goes around, which is very true. Have you ever walked into a meeting and it's 6, the meeting is supposed to be starting, the Toastmaster of the day is not there, the president is not there, the program was not shared, so there are guests in the meeting room and they actually don't know what's going on here. That kind of disorganization does not speak well for the club. So as leaders, one aspect you will need to be very clear and good at is ensuring that the program is well planned, shared with members in advance, using the platforms that works for you and your members. And then the meeting is so organized before the day of the meeting that everyone is looking forward to it. And at the meeting, they will get these things again, the first impressions. They will come to the meeting and they will be able to tell, are these people organized or not? Trust me, you don't want to be in the category where someone walks in and 15 minutes later, nothing is happening, so they leave. Those people might never come back most often. So program planning and meeting organization is an area in moments of truth that as leaders, you need to very critically and categorically note down by when. You need to have timelines. Should our program be ready? How should we share it? Who is in charge of this? VPE, Toastmaster of the day, and all those aspects. Membership strength. I have been an area director of an area where people were performing exemplary well. They were doing so well. But they were so heartbroken. We were so heartbroken at the district conference when no recognition was given. Why? One aspect. No base plus 5 members or 20 members. As much as the club was doing so well, the membership strength in terms of numbers shortchanged us in all these clubs in our area. So membership strength is the numbers, yes, the minimum of 20, but I like saying that it's more than that because you could have 20 members, but how active are they? So VPEs, tracking your members, knowing why are they not taking roles, assigning mentors, as we said, all these are aspects of strengthening the members so that even as we recruit and have 30, 35, 40 members in the club, then the growth is felt and the growth of one member facilitates the growth of another and another. And the strength of the club is not only felt in terms of 30 members, but also achieving your goals, education goals, and the strength of growth at personal and professional level that we can always feel through your testimonials and the like. Achievement recognition. Yesterday, I listened to Gladys unveil her district Making Magic mission, or the goal of making magic in the coming year. And she talked of appreciation. We are going to appreciate each other. Clap, take, eat those cakes we are talking about. Achievement recognition, we are human beings. We might not know it, but a pat on the shoulder always makes us feel good and encouraged to move on. So as leaders, even when you're at your lowest, you will be expected to make your members feel that they are doing great. And this is an aspect also of evaluation that Mike was talking about that we should put into consideration. Let these members feel recognized, as he said, for their effort. I took time to prepare this speech. I mean, I need you people to, appreciate and feel that, it took time and effort and energy. So recognition, certificates, having socials, celebrating these people, publicizing, like Karen Derry has been so good with writing testimonials of members on Facebook, making posters with their picture and their achievement. And I'm sure this has made the members feel we are in a family where we are recognized and appreciated. And these things will make members stay and will bring also other members. And if you're able to sit down as club officers and look at these very critically and look at the solutions or things you can do to meet these key things, I guarantee you're going to have a very healthy club. Now, back to our house. I hope I have not lost anyone. Robert, anything we need to take note of from the chat? I can see there are a lot of messages.
So far, no. Only the president of Kilele talking up Kilele. But other than that, everything is okay. Please.
Okay, you can trust Cara to do that. She's an amazing, motivator, and she loves recognizing, and that's one key aspect about her. Now, we are looking at these pillars. There's no house, we have a foundation, we have a roof. Now, the pillars, what will make the house stand? There are these 4 aspects here: experiential learning, self-paced program, peer feedback, and mentoring. We usually say it's in Toastmasters, you learn by doing. So there are members who will come, and I will connect these with self-paced program. There's a time I had a mentee and I kept talking to them. I followed up, and they got to a point and told me, I think in Toastmasters, it's a self-paced program. Here I was thinking, I'm being concerned, you've joined, I would love to help you, know how I can help you, support you in this growth journey, because I don't want 6 months to be over and you're renewing. But then they gave me a very good comeback of it's a self-paced program. And honestly, for a moment I paused and like, by the way, you're so right about that. And this is when we go back now to the topic of why. It is very important as leaders to carry out surveys to know the why of your members. Did they join to eat cake? Well, they'll be very happy when there's cake in the meeting. Did they join because they want to learn and grow in feedback? VPE, these are the people you encourage to take evaluation roles. Did they join because they want to build confidence and they don't want to feel bullied? So they want to take timer role all the time, our counter, where they will be expected to just speak for 1 minute, maybe give a report for 1 minute or 2 and all that. But these people grow from somewhere. So when we talk of experiential learning and self-paced program, we need to know as leaders how now to balance these and approach our members to ensure they understand. You can only learn if you are doing it. You cannot learn by sitting back and observing. And this is the point where I feel like testimonials work a lot. Let people see the before and after of a person. I usually say there's power in stories. So that a new member or a guest seated there will get to understand then it's not about being a Toastmaster by registration. It's about being a Toastmaster by action, not being passive. Because experiential learning then is only a pillar for the club if the members, remember the club is the members, if the members are going through the experience and taking up these roles and growing through these roles. So the VPEs in the house, this might be a very key area for you to look at, tracking of members, knowing their why, assigning them mentors, which is also a pillar we look at separately, so that they are able to grow by doing these activities within Toastmasters. Identify their levels. Are they comfortable now with the speech? Keep encouraging them because it's the only way that they can grow. Then peer feedback is a pillar that has been discussed this morning by Mike and all of you, sharing, giving your views. Feedback is one key thing in Toastmasters because it's the only way we grow. We only grow if someone is able to help us understand we are doing good at this, we can do better at this. And some of us can attest that it is only through this feedback that we've been able to speak within time, to use vocal variety, to use visual aids to enhance our message, to be confident, to apply different styles of communication. So I find that as a Toastmaster, peer feedback is a very key pillar. We lack strong peer feedback and we risk losing our members. We should charge them on growth because we will all keep doing things the same way. So as EXCO, we need to look at areas of how do we improve how we give feedback in our club, so that within ourselves, we are able to be peer evaluators who help each other grow through peer feedback. And then there is the pillar of mentoring. This is a pillar that I feel we need to really grow in my own experience. In our clubs, we need not assume people are okay. And that is why I'm encouraging the executive committee for every club to design a mentorship program. A mentorship program in such a way that you know who are the mentors, who are the strong people in what areas, how can they help each other develop, so that it's a ripple effect. As they grow in other areas and grow others, then there's continuous growth in the club. There's no mentorship gap in the club. And one of the key things that was challenging one of the VPs is when a member joins, I love, Dhika does this so well, the Dhika Toastmasters, assigning a mentor at the club, actually in public, like our new member XYZ, and their mentor will be Wanjiru Kaburu. So everyone knows, and the EXCO knows, and the members know, if XYZ is not growing, not coming to meetings, Wanjiru Kaburu should be really following this member up, because the VPE might not be able to follow up on all the members. But when you have a mentorship program, I feel that assigning a new member to a mentor gives them a good base, some confidence, some feeling that she or he has someone to handhold them and grow. And mentoring is very important. So it's good to also, as we grow, realize that we need mentors, even we as executive committees. So the area directors also might want to ask the EXCOs in their areas, do we assign, maybe president is assigned a mentor who has been a president before, and they're able to grow themselves as well through guidance as they guide the club. So this now gives us our house. And by observing all those things, we are able to observe quality in our clubs. And trust me, as you've all attested, this quality is what will make us and our members stay. Robert, anything you'd like to bring to my attention before I continue?
We have a question.
Yes.
Are club constitutions relevant in the growing and running of our clubs?
That's a very good question. Club's constitution. Hey, in the fashion of what? Let me try and be a bit political here. We talk about rule of law. And anytime anyone tries to create their own law outside the law, there is always a conflict. So with my own wisdom, I would say it is very important as leaders to understand the governing documents of Toastmasters. Even as we get into Toastmasters brand, this is a very timely question. It's important for us to understand the governing documents because we operate within a structure. The structure of Toastmasters from clubs up to the Toastmasters International Board and the president. And when we understand the constitution and what are the provisions, then we're in a better position as leaders to give guidance within the guidelines of Toastmasters. But trust me, as long as we have that knowledge and then we look out for our members, our clubs can only grow stronger, the key aspects that we are talking about. So yes, the club constitution, the Toastmasters International Constitution is a very key document for us to understand. And it's one of the documents we sign when we are chartering any club. And that goes to show that you are governed by that document. So I encourage all of us to look out for the governing documents in Toastmasters so that we find ourselves within the bracket of the guidelines that we are governed by. So thank you very much for that question. Now we look at Toastmasters brand. As someone who works in this line of communication and branding, I really understand and emphasize on brand. Brand is, you as individuals, you create your own brand. The other day I listened to a speech by Dr. Stanley Ariari who was saying, you can use platforms to communicate who you are. And social media is there today and you can create a brand knowingly or unknowingly. If you're always complaining, venting, doing that, it's a brand you're creating whether you know it or not. When your name is mentioned, what comes to the mind of people is, oh, that person who loves complaining. That's a brand. Whether you have knowingly, subconsciously or consciously created it, it's a brand that you have created. So as individuals, as clubs, within the brand of Toastmasters International, who are we? When we talk of our mission, are we representing that mission? Can people clearly say, indeed, this is where people come and they grow their communication, leadership skills, they become more confident? Because a brand can only be true if it's backed up by evidence. That's what I like saying. There is public relations and there's a brand. We could talk about a company, but if on the ground it's not really what it represents, then it's a lie. So in Toastmasters, we have a brand. And this brand is beyond the visuals. Every brand is beyond a logo, a name. It's the activity, the pillar, what it stands for. And in Toastmasters, this statement, the positioning statement, I find it to be very, very powerful. I'll take a minute, I'll read it very slowly, and I hope those seeing it for the first time can take time to really listen with their heart, and those who have heard about it can take time also to reflect deeply about it. I wasn't born a leader. They were all around me though. In the community, at work, at school. Leaders were everywhere. They were the heads of families, coaches of teams, business leaders, mentors, organizational decision makers. I admired these leaders. They influenced who I was and who I was becoming. Whatever they did professionally or how they became what they were, I aspired to walk in their footsteps. And so I committed myself to becoming one. Finally, it came to me. It wasn't just what leaders knew that enabled them to lead. They had a voice. They could tell their story. They could listen and answer. They didn't just accomplish, they communicated. So I set out to find my voice, learn to process information on my tools. I needed to learn to listen, learn to give feedback, and accept it. I needed to organize, plan, deliver, follow up. I needed a place where all the ingredients were there and someone would guide me along the way. I found that place. I found a community of learners and the path to leadership. I am a leader and I was made. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the positioning of the brand of Toastmasters. I needed to learn to listen, learn to give feedback and accept it. I needed to organize, plan, deliver, follow up. I needed a place where all the ingredients were there and someone would guide me along the way. The executive committee leaders here today, are you making sure your clubs is a place where there are ingredients that someone can learn and find people to guide them along the way so that confidently these people can say, I am a leader and I was made. As an executive committee member, have you felt this in your journey as a Toastmaster? Have you felt that you found this place and that is why you're here today? You represent a brand as a person, because the minute you become a Toastmaster and say, I am Toastmaster Boniface, I am Toastmaster Robert, I am Toastmaster Gladys, this name follows you. If someone asks you, what is this Toastmaster? Do you tell them, let me refer you to our Vice President Public Relations, Karen Derry, or let me refer you to our President? You are a member of the Executive Committee. Do you understand what we are talking about when we talk about Toastmasters? Can you pitch Toastmasters? Because as we get into looking at teams, you realize that it's not a one-person show. That every member of Toastmasters Executive Committee should be able to understand the brand of Toastmasters. And when you get into the breakout rooms, you're going to have people lead you through every role in more details. And the VPPR in the team, in the group, will have Jerry Gadi leading you through brand guidelines and all that. But at the moment, I would like you to focus on this positioning. And as you work as a team, get to determine and to challenge yourself to have this brand in yourself so that you stand and represent the brand as a leader. So teamwork. Knowing your role, know the roles of your teammates, communicate your areas of strength, take a proactive approach, be willing to cover for another officer. I will summarize this aspect of teamwork in one thing I learned yesterday in a training. That team can stand for, you can write this down, T for together, E for everyone, A for achieve, M for more. And in one statement, this is together everyone can achieve more. Isn't it amazing when you work as a team, 1 + 1 is no longer 2, it can be 1,000,000 or whatever you choose to make it. because you're complementing each other, you're completing each other, you're stepping into the space of each other to ensure that you're a unit that works to serve the club, to grow each other. And this way you achieve synergy, such that what you do, the all is greater than the sum of its part. So you realize that from SAA to IPP, working as executive committee, everyone has their own thing they can bring to the table. But they can only do too much as individuals. But when you work together, everyone gets to achieve more. Now, in that same spirit, thought of team, of together achieving more, what is this more? We are guided, we check performance in Toastmasters under a bracket of what is the Distinguished Club Program. And the Distinguished Club Program has 4 key areas: the education area, membership, training, and administration. Education carries most of the goals because, as you well know, Toastmasters, people are coming to learn, grow, improve their confidence and all that. All these is within the education program. And we're going to look at what is this education, what are these education goals? Your leaders in the coming year, 2020-2021, so forget the current program. Let's talk about Toastmasters Pathways Learning Experience. These are the areas that count for the DCP, the Distinguished Club Program education goals. 4 members completing level 1, 2 members completing level 2, 2 more members completing level 2, 2 members completing level 3, 1 member level 4, 1 member level 5. Some of you have been able to achieve even 8 goals in 1 year. And this is a challenge to the VPEs working with your committee and teams to strategize from the word go. How do we ensure at the end of the year, our clubs have achieved these goals? Then you can break them down to quarterly and all that, and you look at where are our members while involving everyone, the tracking system, helping them get roles if the club's roles, the speaking roles in the club are full, the supportive environment that you need to create for them to feel encouraged to take the roles and grow. It is very possible, and all of you have proven in your clubs to achieve these 6 goals within the year and more. What it calls for is strategy as you do your planning at the beginning of the year. Then we talk of membership. The club is the members. And in this DCP goal, in this program, we check 8 members in a year. 4 new members within the first 6 months and 4 within the second 6 months within the year. Already, it is not, it's recruitment. I like saying recruitment is a continuous process. So don't be limited by 8 members in a year. Recruit, it's a continuous process. Vice President Public Relations, when you do your role of publicizing and the VPMs are able to get guests and then convert them, it continues being a process so that throughout the year, you're getting new members because we need members and we need to spread these tastes that you've had in Toastmasters for the growth. Training and administration is greatly on you as leaders because in training, we need to have at least 4 executive committee members attend training in the first phase and 4 in the second phase. Remember, we are talking of at least, but it is paramount for every club officer to be trained so that then they are empowered to empower their members and to lead members. So that is as far as training is concerned for that goal. And then administration. This is about inputting and updating details on Club Central for your club. The ExCo, new ExCo. I hope the outgoing ExCo have all updated the incoming ExCo because that's a club goal. so that you don't charge your clubs, the incoming officers on that goal. And then also inputting details of changes in the administration. As one club officer left and you're replacing with another, all these are administrative goals in the club central that calls for you to be keen on so that you achieve a goal for the club. So all these 4 areas help you enable. The VPMs, I would like you to take note of the administration and the the treasurers on the payments. The renewals of members. In that season, updating and remitting money to Toastmasters International, it's an administrative aspect of the club that earns the club a goal. So these are the 4 key areas that the Distinguished Club Program is aimed at or looks at to check the performance of the club. And your performance will be judged based on these 4 areas: education goals, membership goals, training, and administration. Robert, I've been talking a lot.
Yes.
Is there something you'd like to bring to my attention, maybe from the chat or from your table?
So far, not nothing. Other than, yeah, we are almost coming to the end of the session, but so far so good.
Okay. We are almost coming to the end of the session. I will not speak about these specific roles of the club officer because after this session, we are going to have a breakout session where all of you leaders will be in different rooms being guided on your specific roles. So these roles are going to be captured and covered very well, specifically to guide you more on each of these roles. So in discussion with the area director, we agree that these are roles that will be given special attention. Now, I would like to ask club officers who have been there before to give us these are key areas here that have been highlighted. What has your experience been? You can pick any. How has either of these contributed to good performance or otherwise of your club? I know there are people here who have been presidents, VPEs. So these 4 areas. Any hands up?
Maybe as others are collecting their thoughts, I could comment.
Yes, Robert.
Yeah, I think what really put our EXCO at SEMA Toastmasters in a good light with the members was, first of all, creating a very professional budget at the very beginning of our term. That created a lot of trust with the members. The next thing that helped us was understanding how the moments of truth items contributed to the DCP goals. So knowing what to work on in the moments of truth so that we would reap results in the DCP goals. Understanding that linkage was a very great help to us.
Fantastic. Thank you for sharing that. I hope you've all heard that clearly, and we are hearing from the best performing president in the district this year. You can pick his brain on that. There's a hand, I think, too. Robert?
We have Immaculate.
Yes, Immaculate.
Okay, thank you. I want to comment on Strategize for Success in the Distinguished Club Program. I think for me, I can say in achieving club members to be over 20, it worked when we came together as EXCO and also the members for everybody to help in the recruitment. So I found it was easier when everybody was targeting everybody and also helping to convert. We were able to achieve the 20 and above.
Fantastic. Strategizing for success. That's very good point, Immaculate. Thanks for sharing. Another hand, Robert.
We have Gladys.
Yes, Gladys.
I want to contribute on the last point, create and oversee other club committees as necessary. From experience, not from my club, but across the district, the clubs that had club committees under the various dockets, VPM, VPPR, VPP, VPE, VPM, VPPR, created a succession plan, and it wasn't as overwhelming for the VPE and VPM. It also helped the members of the club to get involved so that the club is not just the exco, it's also the people within the club feeling that they are part of the going forward. The question here is oversee. If you're the VP, VPM, and VPPR, your committee cannot work without guidance. So as you come to this docket, create specific guidance on what your subcommittee should deliver so that they don't feel overwhelmed and drop the ball. And if you can get your team to work together, I'll go with what you have said. Together, everybody will achieve more. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Gladys. Another one, Robert.
We have Jenny.
Jenny?
Yes, thank you, Wanjiru. I'll talk about the club success plan. And in this case, I'm talking about the plan where the success plan for distinguished club program. So I remember we did that in our club, and fairly late, I would say. I mean, we didn't know about these things. So we kind of did it when we were very far into the year. But nevertheless, when we did the club business plan as the exco, and then, you know, there's the educational goals. One person had to get to level 5, and yet we were a brand new baby club. We are all in level 1. We are all doing icebreakers. And I remember, because I was the VP then, and I was like, you know, when we said who will do up to level 5. And I remember, you know, I said, I might as well lead by example. I'm the VP. Who do I expect to do? So I said, okay, I will do the level 5. I had no idea what it entails, no idea how many speeches I had to do, but I committed. And I like, you know, that eventually worked. And as the year progressed, you see, we could tell some members their personal goals are not so motivating, so they're not quite giving speeches. So, you know, we agreed as the EXCO, if we are ever going to do this, the goals must first come from the EXCO members. And by that, so doing, we led by example. So we were like, the level 1 is coming, the level 3s are coming from the EXCO, then the level 4s. But by so doing, everybody else came on board, and we accomplished those goals with other members. Thank you.
Fantastic. Do you have any other hand up, Robert?
I think we're okay.
All right. Thank you very much for your contribution to this. I asked because they are very key areas, and I'm glad we've had someone comment on each of the areas. And recently I've really been interacting with Robert here because he's an incoming area director of one of the clubs in my area that has been struggling, and we are trying to rebuild it. And in this handing over process and I've come to learn a few things from him. There's one thing very interesting that he said guided him as president. He said he identified the minimums. What's the minimum he can do to ensure the club achieves excellence? And I found this to be very interesting. Some of us, I think, look at it from the other angle. What is the match that we can do? And I think when I look at these 4 points, that point from Robert comes to my mind. This to me looks like the minimums of the executive committee as a whole. When you look at these, you realize that they are covering all aspects that you need to perform as a club. Budgetary issues, Club Success Plan is the document that enables you from the word go to put in what are we looking to achieve, within what time, what are our communication platforms and strategies, what are the values that will guide us, what are the principles that are going to guide us. I remember when we first did this document when I was the president of Kilele, it looked very cumbersome to some of us and they were feeling like, Madam President. But over time, maybe someone here who was there back then, Karonderi, who is now the president, I hope you've fully embraced and come to see over the 2 years the power of having a club success plan. And then the third point, strategizing. You don't just put, we achieve 6 goals, or how will you achieve these? And this is where the aspect of strategy comes in. And then the creation, I liked what Gladys emphasized when she talked about the creation of these, of oversee, not the doing by yourself, but having committees that are working. And what I found in this, that it helps also in the succession. You're able to mentor members to take over club leadership throughout the year, so that by the time you're electing this person into office, they're already conversant in what happens in that docket, and they're able to continue the growth of the club. So really, when I look at these 4 points, I would take it as a challenge and give it as a challenge to our leaders that take these 4 as your bare minimums, the minimums that you can do as an executive committee as you work together and grow together, and this way you will be able to lead your clubs to excellence. Now, I am coming to an end of my presentation, and my hope is that you as club officers feel motivated enough. We've had scenarios where club officers have also not felt motivated to motivate their club members who are looking up to them. So I'd like to appeal to all of us, because you're human beings as club officers, you need to keep filling your cups so that now you have enough to pour to others, to your fellow members. You have a system, you have area directors, you have the district officers, but the area director is your contact person. I ask you to be in touch, work with them, use them. Don't stay stranded on anything, because you realize that you will need information, and a lot of it, and empowerment to be able to lead the clubs even as you grow. Some of you are still very young in Toastmasters, and taking on leadership roles puts you at another position to challenge yourself to grow. So I have no doubt that you're going to do good and great as leaders, as long as you keep filling your cups, and attending such a session, such a training is one of the ways of filling that cup. And I hope we have been able through this session to, someone says their hand has been up. I feel like I'll do them injustice if I end. Dr. Akinyi.
Yes, just allow me a moment of excitement. I
Yes.
met somebody on a flight to Zimbabwe just after I had joined Toastmasters. Talked to him about Toastmasters Club all the way, and he tells me he became a member. That went to Thika Toastmasters Club. I'm so excited. He's the sergeant at arms there.
Oh, James. Is that James? James
Yes,
is
that
the
is,
current.
that is James, yes.
James.
Oh,
Yes.
fantastic. It's good to hear such an experience. You see, that's why I said you are an embodiment. You represent, Toastmasters International will not land here and say, I am Toastmasters International and this is what I do. It is up to all of us to represent the brand. Some of us, first name is Toastmaster before Robert. You're called, even people at work now call you Toastmaster. It has become like your name. It's because you represent, you're supposed to represent that brand, and it is through all of us that we are going to build membership to bring more people who will stay and grow. And thank you very much, Dr. Akinyi, for sharing that experience. James, I'm happy to know that, and welcome to Executive Leadership in Toastmasters. And all of you, I wish you all the best in the year 2020-2021 of leadership, and I know you are going to do great. Robert, thank you for this opportunity. I hand the meeting back to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Wanjiru Kaburu, for expertly handling that comprehensive session. Indeed, it's meant to be a 2-hour session, and we are sorry for having cut your time by half, but we hope to revisit this session during the second area director training, the second club officer training later this year or early